Greetings and salutations, YouTubers. This is ZillaFan85, back today with my newest video, and of course another figure review. And for today's video, I wanted to go ahead and review my 1974 MechaGodzilla Gashapon figure. So this was actually a really cool pickup when I did get it. MechaGodzilla is a kaiju slash mech that I really love. He's certainly one of my favorites for sure. And in particular, I really love the Showa MechaGodzilla the best. So the 74/75. They're for the most part essentially the same, which incarnation you have, 74, 75, but there are some design differences, tweaks that they made for the 1975 MechaGodzilla. Personally, I like them about the same. Honestly, whether it's the 74 or 75, but, you'll know for sure that it's the 74. I mean, if you can't really tell by some of, like, the facial differences and some of the differences on the body between the 74 design here or the 75, but also the big difference that gives it away is you see how he's got the MG symbol right there. And that's obviously standing for MechaGodzilla. The second incarnation for 1975 actually says MG2, or MechaGodzilla 2, and that's for sure the giveaway that it's the 75 version, not the 74. So again, MechaGodzilla first appeared in the 1974 film Godzilla vs. MechaGodzilla, which is definitely amongst, among my favorite Godzilla movies for sure. Definitely a top 10, just as MechaGodzilla is a top 10 favorite kaiju of mine. And it's an awesome film. And I like the whole, it does do the alien plot again, but it's really cool. It's a neat concept that they came up with to have a mechanical doppelganger for Godzilla, essentially. That of course being MechaGodzilla, and of course as he shows up in the film as the fake Godzilla and takes on Anguirus, and Anguirus sort of reveals that metallic armor underneath the fake Godzilla's synthetic skin, if you will. So it was really cool. And then of course when when fake Godzilla takes on Godzilla, and then the big reveal of him being MechaGodzilla. So I loved all that. I loved the final battle with Godzilla teaming up with King Caesar to take him on. It was an awesome movie, in my opinion, anyway. And like I said, out of the different incarnations of MechaGodzilla, I prefer the Showa MechaGodzilla the best, honestly. And I like, it was kind of cool in the Heisei and Millennium eras that they had MechaGodzilla being, made by mankind to fight against Godzilla and other monsters. So that was cool. But the original version with him basically being, evil, a villainous character who was created and controlled by the evil aliens who wanted to conquer Earth. The aliens from the third planet from the black hole, as they're called, or the black hole. Third planet aliens, whichever you prefer. So yeah, it's kind of a kind of a lengthy name, but they're cool. I like their leader. He's such an asshole to everybody. So it's just awesome. I love it. And if any of you are curious, if you haven't seen, I definitely recommend both. Well, of course, both Showa MechaGodzilla films, not Godzilla vs. MechaGodzilla and Terror of MechaGodzilla. But anyway, though, let's go ahead and jump on into the figure review itself here with MechaGodzilla here. Like I said, this is the Gashapon version, so the mini figure of him. I don't have a standard size Showa MechaGodzilla figure in my collection at this point, but I'm definitely thinking about getting one. I'm thinking about either doing the Bandai one or the SH Monster Arts one. I don't know if it pays to do the SH Monster Arts for MechaGodzilla. I know Usually they're nicer, but I've seen like some of the Bandai ones, like some of the ones with the tag. You know, those are not necessarily a Bandai creation, but the tag Bandai, the Japan Bandai, actually seems like pretty nice figure, and pretty nice figures, and they seem to have pretty decent range of articulation and whatnot. So I'm thinking I may just go with the Bandai, but I'll decide in time. So anyway, so for right now, this obviously a very, very nicely done rendition of the Showa MechaGodzilla. So you can see here, starting with the paint. So he's got this silverish paint all around him, and it's not a shiny silver; it's like a dulled out silver. So, and that's very indicative of his design in the film, where it was like a dirty silver looking color. So, and it looks really, really good on him. This honestly was a very, very nice Gashapon figure, and I was definitely glad to add it to my collection, and especially so just so I can get a Showa MechaGodzilla, because otherwise standard size MechaGodzillas, I had the MechaGodzilla 3 or Kiryu, and I have the Trendmasters MechaGodzilla, which is based on his Heisei design. That's my personal least favorite MechaGodzilla, but anyway though. So you can see here that, like I said, the silverish paint all around him looks very, very nice. Got the red insignia for MG MechaGodzilla, like I said before, and it's on both arms, so you can see that. That looks really, really cool, and that does indicate that it is the 74 original MechaGodzilla. And then, of course, you got the red dots on the side of his head there. There, like I said. So I'll try to keep it in view. My camera always gets kind of weird sometimes with focusing. It's got like an autofocus thing on it, so you know, so I do apologize, but I do my best. Then you've got the yellow signature, like orangish yellowish eyes that he's got, the blank stare. Very, very creepy, and very menacing looking, but something I really love about MechaGodzilla's design. Always have, always will. Very, very awesome looking. So that's about it for paint. Nothing too drastic. You know, a couple different, you know, paint schemes done on here, but mainly the dulled out silver color, which again is very indicative of MechaGodzilla. So now on to detail. So he is very, very well detailed. You can see the those line segmentations between the joints on the legs there. So they got that detail down between the knees and up and above the thighs, just below the waist there. So you can see those, they don't, they're just kind of a sculpted on hard plastic piece, but the fact that they detailed it though is a very, very nice touch. They got those two spikes on his kneecaps there. They got the claws on his feet and on his fingers, which are also indicative of being the finger and toe missiles that he does have, because he's got a slew of weapons. He's basically basically like a one monster army, if you will. You know, he's got all kinds of weapons here. He's got the latch piece that opens up for that anti-gravity electroblast that he fires out from his chest there. So they've got the design on that. They got all the segments, as you can see there. Armor, X armor, all the grooves, all those bumps there. Very indicative of his armor. Go around his waist. They got that signature plate on his waist there, as you can see. Got the segmentation below the neck, or on the neck area in the front there, as you can see that. Very, very nice. They really paid attention to detail with this figure. I'm very, very impressed, because MechaGodzilla does have a lot of detailing. Again, you can see the line segmentations on the elbow too, which he's got connecting those joints, the elbow joint there, and of course connecting his arm at the shoulder there, so you can see that. So they got all that included. They got his signature spines on his back, and it's pretty indicative of how he looks. So that looks pretty cool. They got that signature blade at the end of his tail, which you really never see him use, but apparently that can be used as a weapon. You just never see MechaGodzilla actually use it. But still, though, they got it there for the detailing, got all the segmentations. With, again, those those armor bumps on the tail on both sides here. Just trying to make sure I cover everything, folks. Of course, you got the B China, Bandai China, because Gashapon figures are a version of Bandai, are done by Bandai, I should say. And then, of course, you got all the detailing in his face. You got that signature crowned out horn on the top of his head there, which looks really cool. I really love this with the original MechaGodzilla, that spike on the top of his head. It looks so cool. You got the snout there, that elongated snout with those two nostrils at the end. One thing that really always stood out with the original MechaGodzilla's design, to me especially, was his face, because it's really, really nicely done. Again, you see all those grooves there too. They really, really made sure to get his look down so well. I'm really impressed. You know, Gashapon figures, I mean, they're usually pretty well done. Sometimes they can be hit or miss, you know, with how well they're done, how accurate they are. But this is just quite accurate. Again, like I said, this figure, you know, definitely blows me out of the water, you know, especially it being a Gashapon figure and so well done. Again, you got the grooves on the neck, so you got them all around, those circular grooves that he's got on his body, comprising of his armor. You know, again, they really, really knocked it out of the park, I think, here. Again, you can see another look on his back with his dorsal spines, and those are very indicative of his movie look. So I think that this is quite movie accurate, this design of MechaGodzilla. Definitely happy with it. I just like having the you know, standard size figures, which I do want to eventually add to my collection. But definitely love this Gashapon one nonetheless. So I think that about covers it. And you do see, oh, because he's got the closed mouth here, but you can still kind of see the metallic teeth that he's got, which adds to the character in the face. Again, trying to focus the camera, but you can see that though. Just awesome, just awesome. So. And of course, too, I got him in that signature pose. I mean, this is kind of how the parts go into place. Again, in Gashapon figures, the pieces go into place. But he's got that signature, sort of the aliens from the third planet from the black hole had that sort of salute that they do. So MechaGodzilla, a lot of times when they send him into battle, will do that salute with his arm here. So that's a nice touch, too. I like that they have him displayed like that, honestly. Very, very awesome. So, so that's pretty much it, other than articulation, really. Again, a Gashapon figure, so there really isn't any, these pieces go into place, so I mean, yeah, if you're rotating the head and doing that sort of 360 thing like he did in the film when he created that force field, technically you can do that, but I don't really know if it was meant to be done with that, and you know, moving the arms too, rotating them. But as you see though, when you rotate the arms, mainly is when they start popping out of place. So don't really recommend it too much. The head, you can get away with it a little bit more. But really, again, a Gashapon figure not meant for articulation, really just meant for display. But I think this is a very, very nice display piece. And that does pretty much wrap it up for all of that. Otherwise, these are very common online, to be honest with you. Again, Gashapon figures usually are pretty readily available for the most part. There's some that are rarer, you know, and obviously those are more expensive as well. But MechaGodzilla, though, he's pretty common. You can get him, I would say, for under 20, maybe even under 10 if you're lucky. I think mine was somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 to 20. when I got him. So, you know, quite affordable and a good alternative if you don't really, you know, feel like you're in the market to get a standard size version of the Showa MechaGodzilla, but you would like one in your collection. Like I said, this is pretty common, especially on eBay, and pretty cheap. So, you know, certainly you should be able to find it. And again, to me, I think this is a really, really nicely done Gashapon figure of the Showa MechaGodzilla, the 1974 MechaGodzilla, and I definitely recommend it, folks. So that does about cover it. I didn't know I was going to spend that much time talking about him, but I do love this figure, though. But other than that, though, that does wrap it up. I definitely would like to thank you so much for watching. If you would like to subscribe, please feel free to do so. If you would like to like and or comment on any of my videos, please feel free to do so as well. And just remember, until next time, ladies and gentlemen, you be good to yourselves, and sayonara.